Each year at this time, we pause to recognize the service of our employees, beginning with those employees with 5 years of service and recognizing subsequent 5-year service milestones. It is unfortunate that we cannot gather in person as we usually do for this event. This format allows us to express our gratitude for people's service and contributions while keeping everyone as safe as possible. We also take time today to recognize Faculty Incentive Awards, which you will hear more about later in this presentation. For now, I would like to introduce President James Burge, who will reflect upon the events of these milestone years and recognize our honorees.
Thank you, Barb. I'm happy to welcome everyone to our Giving Thanks celebration. This is a special opportunity to show our appreciation and recognize the members of our community who have reached important milestones from 5 to 40 years of service to the college. This tradition of recognition and giving thanks also provides a special opportunity to acknowledge all of you. I want to thank each of you for your hard work, your commitment to our students, to one another, and to our campus community. Especially this year, as we recognize members of our faculty and staff today for their many years of service, we do so with appreciation for all they've done to make MCLA the special place it is for our students and our faculty and our staff. I would also like to acknowledge the work of Lisa LaScarborough, who organized today's program, Peter Gentile for his time and talent recording, and the team in Human Resources for their work in planning this event. I hope you will join me in thanking them for their efforts. As I prepared remarks for today's program, I thought I would continue with the tradition that began just a few years ago to take a walk down MCLA memory lane and highlight some of the achievements corresponding to the year that our honorees began at the college. I'd like to thank Kate Flower from the Friel Library, who helped us to uncover some of the historical facts about MCLA over the last 40 years. Let's begin with our employees with 5 years of service who began their employment in 2015. In that year, Bowman Hall was opened after renovations, Bright Ideas Brewery opened in North Adams, and MCLA received an award for community service. I would like to thank and acknowledge the following 5-year honorees: Keith Anderson, Justin Biazin, Amy Bullitt Smith, David Kuperi, Deborah Curry, Amber Engelson, Jeffrey Garrison, Larry Goudreau, Christopher Hantman, Kathy Holbrook, Patrick Kearns, Christina Kelly, Sean McIntosh, Aaron Milne, Laura Mooney, Steve Pesila, Dana Schildkraut, Scott Siciliano, Pete Urbanowitz, Ruby Vega, Kebra Ward, and April Wright. Now, let us recognize those with 10 years of service who began their employment in 2010. In 2010, the following took place at MCLA. The Professional MBA program was launched, and the college established the Center for Student Success and Engagement, CSSE. State colleges gain university status, and the women's basketball team wins its first title with the MASCAC tournament. And it was the first Solid Sound Festival held at MassMocha. I would like to recognize the following 10-year honorees: Bernadette Alden, Mary Elizabeth Bishop, Ingrid Castro, Rita Nodim, Shelley Potterton, and Laura Stanley. Next, I would like to recognize employees with 15 years of service who began their employment in 2005. That year, renovations at Murdoch Hall were underway and Gallery 51 opened. We also installed wireless internet access on campus. I would like to recognize the following 15-year honorees: John Clark, David Eve, Wendy Guerra, and Peter Hoyt. Let's now recognize employees with 20 years of service who began their employment in the year 2000. Some of the highlights from that year are that Dr. James McGregor Burns was the commencement speaker. Ruth Simmons, president of Smith College, was the first black person to head an Ivy League institution, Brown University. And in world news, the first resident crew boarded the International Space Station. I would like to recognize the following 20-year honorees: Terry Burdick, Deborah Raber, and Gregory Scheckler. Next, let us recognize employees with 25 years of service who began their employment in 1995. In that year, honors programs were started here at MCLA. The athletic complex was named after Joe Zavataro. The Fine and Performing Arts major was added, and Mass MoCA announced plans to open at Sprague Electric. I'd like to recognize the following 25-year honorees: Charlie Cianfarini and David Zaleski. Next, let's recognize employees with 30 years of service who began their employment in 1990. At that time, MCLA recognized its first Greek organization and created the Inter-Greek Council. North Adams State College joined the Campus Area Community Network, connecting campus to many other colleges. GLASS, the Gay and Lesbian Allied Student Society, sponsored NASC's first Gay Pride Week. I'd like to recognize the following 30-year honorees: Carrie Alabozic, Peter Gentile, Dorothy Houston, and Maria LaValle. Next, let us recognize our employees with 35 years of service who began their employment in 1985. At that time, MCLA held its first annual homecoming, and the North Adams Heritage Park opened in downtown North Adams. I would like to recognize the following 35-year honorees: Jennifer Alabozic, Christine Conderas, and Paul Guest. Lastly, I want to recognize the employees who have 40 years of service, having begun their employment in 1980. At that time, MCLA awarded its first Bachelor's of Science degree in computer science. IDST department was formed, and the biology minor was added. And finally, Greylock Hall closed. I would like to recognize the following 40-year honorees: David Levine, Diane Manning, and James Moriarty. Thank you to each of our honorees for your years of service to MCLA. Your dedication and commitment are important to the success of our students. You serve as teachers, mentors, and friends. Each of you contributes to making MCLA such a welcoming and caring community. I wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving. While gatherings may be small, may you enjoy good food with those you choose to be with, and may your day be filled with plenty of laughter and love. To close out our program, I would like to introduce Dr. Adrian Wooters to present Faculty Incentive Awards. Thank you.
Faculty Incentive Awards support scholarly work in the areas of original research, curriculum development, innovative teaching and learning pedagogy, and civic learning and engagement projects. New this year are 3-credit research APRs to afford time during the school year for awardees to work on their individual research projects. The members of the Faculty Association Awards Committee comprise the previous year's faculty award winners. This committee has the difficult job of recommending to me a limited number of awards from a wide array of worthy proposed projects. Across campus and disciplines, our faculty are engaged in important, vital research and creative projects, which benefit both their professional fields and our students. My thanks to all of you who engage in this important work, and my congratulations to this year's winners. The Course and Program Development Award goes to Maggie Clark for her project, Reimagining Early Childhood Education, a course redesign project. The Research Award for Tenured Faculty goes to Ingrid Castro for her research, Teaching Education, Talking Childhood, Troubling Gender. The Research Award for Tenure-Track Faculty goes to Guodong Wang for his project, Design and Implement a Smart House for Dogs, Education of Wireless Sensor Networking and Data Processing for STEM students. A 3-credit research APR goes to Vicky Papa for her work on her manuscript, Minoritarian Modernisms, Quotidian Trauma and the Aesthetics of Survival. A 3-credit research APR goes to Amanda Kleintop for her work on her manuscript, The Balance of Freedom, Abolishing Property Rights in Slaves During and After the U.S. Civil War. And a 3-credit research APR goes to Travis Beaver for his research project, Johnny, Are You Queer? The Politics of Ambiguous Sexual Identity. Again, my hearty congratulations to all of you, and I look forward to seeing the fruits of your labor. And now I will hand it over to Barb.
In closing, it is important to take time to recognize and honor the service of our dedicated employees. Thank you for everything you do, even more so during these very challenging times, to support our students in achieving their educational goals. We will get through this time together. Thank you for joining us. I look forward to when we can gather again for future Giving Thanks celebrations.